wise, all right?
You got to listen and you got to execute.
I already feel good about me. I'm good.
Just call it.
What's up? This is Coach Marcus Pro Fan Talk, and I wanted to talk about this situation because I know this is going to be all over everywhere tomorrow. Is the interaction between Rhyne Howard and Caitlin Clark. Already tensions rise, and tomorrow they're going to make a big deal out of it. I already know it is. And at this particular, if you watch the game, at this particular time in the game, Rhyne Howard was in Caitlin Clark's ass. She was giving her the business. Rhyne Howard had a great game. Her defense on Caitlin Clark was phenomenal. But ultimately, Indiana came out with the win. Just like Caitlin Clark had a pretty damn good game the last time they played, and they ended up losing. So it's funny how that thing works out. But in this situation, again, it's two competitors going at it. And as a Caitlin Clark Indiana Fever fan, let me say this and keep it a buck. Caitlin Clark talks cash shit. Caitlin talks a lot of shit, but she can back it up. And Rhyne Howard was in her grill tonight. Rhyne Howard was in her grill. So she had, at this particular time, Rhyne Howard was giving her the business. She had hit some shots. She was playing extremely well on defense. And Caitlin Clark was frustrated. Now, that's my biggest, as a Caitlin Clark fan, that's my biggest gripe about her. And some of this is my personal bias, having been a coach and coached kids. When kids show you their attitude, when it's written on their face and their body language sucks, oh, that drives me nuts. That's what Caitlin Clark does. She doesn't get calls. Her palms go in the air like, you know, like why? Now, granted, the refs were bad. The refs were calling super ticky-tack fouls on both sides. It was some bad calls against Atlanta. It was some bad calls against Indiana. So at least the bad calls were distributed equally. And the one thing I did like was they started calling ticky-tack fouls early in the game, and they stayed consistent. They didn't change up at the end. They didn't call it tight and all of a sudden let them play at the end. It was tight all the way through the game. So at least they had some consistency in that. And it was bad calls on both sides, for real. The refs have still been a problem in the W. But in this particular case, when it comes to Rhyne Howard and Caitlin Clark, Rhyne Howard was in her grill, giving her the business, and she pretty much kept Caitlin Clark in check. I said it on the stream. Check it out if you missed it. Other teams, when they get ready to play Indiana, they're going to watch the two games where Indiana and Atlanta played. In Indiana and in Atlanta. Atlanta D'd them up pretty damn well. If Natasha Howard would have played anywhere near the way she did tonight, they would have blown Atlanta out the first game. The one thing that is an issue with the Fever is, for whatever reason, these jokers cannot hit damn free throws. Their free throw percentage was god-awful. Again, Kelsey Mitchell, one of the best shooters, could have iced the game with a 5-point lead with, was it like maybe 8 seconds to go? It was less than 10 seconds. I can't remember how much time was left on the clock. All she has to do is hit her free throws. It's a 5-point lead. Give them the ball and let them dribble out the clock. And she ended up missing one. And it's like Caitlin Clark was missing free throws. Everybody was missing free throws. So that's something that they got to work on. It'll get better, I would think. But for the most part, Atlanta played a great game defensively. And Indiana played much better defensively than they did last game. But as far as this particular situation with Rhyne Howard and Caitlin Clark, this is what the competition needs to be like. This is what it needs to be like. Talking shit. Rhyne was in her behind at this particular point in the game. So you can listen, if you getting the best out of your opponent, talk your talk on the court. It wasn't no crazy fouls or nothing like that. It's funny, I didn't hear nothing on the internet about what Dejanay Carrington did last night. That foul that she gave, what's the girl's name? I can't remember her name, But she came over the cross, raked her nails back, caught the girl in the middle of her eye, drew a little blood. You know, it wasn't much, but still, she brought it back. That's something you need to watch, because that's twice I've seen that from Dejanay. The first time, it was like, that was a basketball play. This time, in my opinion, she did that shit on purpose. And then she stood up and gonna try to tower over the girl while she down. And I was like, nah. But crickets when it came to that. Did nobody say nothing about that? That was all good. That was a hell of a lot worse than what Clark did to Angel. For sure. For sure. Just an interesting side note about that. But good game by Atlanta. Atlanta is better than advertised. Atlanta is a hell of a lot better than last year. DC is a hell of a lot better than last year. And they gonna give some teams trouble. Indiana's got some warts that they got to clean up. But as for tonight, Indiana hit the shots. Natasha Howard was so much better tonight. They did a great job of getting her the ball. Stephanie White did a much better job in the rotations, getting Damaris Dantas involved in the game early to take on Brittany Griner, because Brittany Griner, you're not going to match her size at 6'9". But Damaris Dantas is 6'4", and she's a thick woman, and Brittany Griner cannot move her. She is too strong with her lower body. They got Brittany Griner listed as 6'9", 205. Damaris Dantas is like 6'4", 220. So she's given up like 15 pounds to Damaris Dantas, and she's got that lower base. So she's harder to move, and she did a great job against Brittany Griner tonight. Great job against her. The second half, the Indiana defense was much better, and the rotations were much better, in my opinion. Aaliyah Boston, foul trouble. Caitlin Clark, foul trouble. Lexi Hall, foul trouble. But they found a way to get the win done. However, Atlanta's pretty damn good. And the next time they play, it's probably going to be a barn burner. If Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell shoot like they did today, they're going to have problems again. But that's every game. Every time you're going to have a game, Caitlin Clark is not making her shots. Kelsey Mitchell's not making no shots. They're going to be in trouble. And then they got to worry about or concentrate on penetrating and getting the ball to the rack, because the jump shots were not falling. They still got to work on them free throws. So they got some warts. And teams are going to watch this tape and understand how to attack them. So they got to be ready for it. But they won tonight. They won tonight. But I tell you what, I'd be looking in that rearview mirror, because they obviously not as good as they want to be. But it's early. This is only the second game. It's early. Let's see what it looks like when we get to games, games 7, 8, 9, and 10. Then you can really see what you have. Then you can really see if anybody's injured. So there's a lot of things that play here. But for tonight, good job. Good win with Indiana. But damn good job by Atlanta. Damn good job by Atlanta. They done revealed the blueprint on Indiana. So we'll see what happens going forward. But tonight, great game. Talk your talk, Rhyne Howard. You didn't come out with the win, but talk your talk. I ain't mad at you.